parable of the lost sheep and the lost coin. Luke 10:3-10.
The blisters on his feet were almost as bad as the sunburn spreading across the exposed parts of his neck and arms. Ignoring these inconveniences, Ralph carried on, desperately looking for the child who had wandered off. The panic in his eyes caused people to stare at him, moving out of his way as his determined frame moved briskly toward them. He barely noticed his fellow humans as his mind focused on one singular goal, to find his little boy, Nathan. They had only been on at the park for a short time before his sister-in-law, Rowena, had come over to discuss the details of a surprise birthday party they were planning for his wife, Julianne. Checking in every few minutes, Ralph had thought it was safe to speak with her. Unfortunately, the conversation required more concentration than expected, and he momentarily forgot about Nathan. When he looked back to where Nathan had been playing, a chill ran up his spine. At first, he told himself not to panic. Nathan was probably just behind part of the play structure. A quick search of the area disabused him of that notion, his eyes unable to locate the bright red jacket Nathan had been wearing. That's when the panic set in. He ran from parent to parent, shoving his phone into surprised faces, desperately hoping one of them had seen Nathan. Faced with only confused sorries, he dialed 911. His high-pitched voice prevented the operator from understanding anything other than the words, "Son," "Not here," and "Park." The police were there in minutes. A brief search revealed no signs of Nathan having been taken. Within an hour, a group of volunteers had assembled, and the search party moved in all directions. Rowena stayed behind in case Nathan returned. Moving at a speed he did not think possible, Ralph headed in the direction of their home, hoping that Nathan had wanted to see his mom and had headed there. Calling out every few minutes, he listened intently before moving on. Then he heard it, the faint, tearful cry of, "Daddy!" drifting toward him. Looking around, he called again and headed down an alley toward the sound. Looking inside boxes and behind garbage, he finally located Nathan, smudged and despondent, his small body hunched next to a dumpster. Tears streaming down both their faces, he picked up the little boy and hugged him until he yelped. He called Rowena and let her know where he was. The EMTs confirmed that Nathan was all right, and his phone lit up with congratulatory messages. The trial behind him, he went home to celebrate with his wife the return of their most precious treasure.
Primary plot points. These parables were told right before the parable of the prodigal son, in response to snide remarks by the Pharisees and scribes about Christ's acceptance of sinners. I have combined them because the primary plot points are the same. A caretaker of a collection of valuable items notices that one of those items is missing. The caretaker ensures the safety of the remaining items before searching for the missing member. The caretaker searches relentlessly, using every available tool until the item is found. The caretaker lets those important to them know that the item has been found and invites their loved ones to celebrate its retrieval with them. In both cases, the caretaker's concern is evident. Aware of their responsibility, they continue their search until the valuable item has been found. No trial or inconvenience dissuades them from their task, and this determination is rewarded with the successful retrieval of what was lost. The metaphors are powerful and thought-provoking. Each sheep was a valued member of the flock. The loss of a single ram or ewe would have resulted in the loss of generations of lambs. Additionally, the law stated that all firstborn males in the flock belonged to God, Exodus 34:19. So the shepherd would have felt guilt for having lost a part of his stewardship to his deity. The coin, on the other hand, was a valuable medium of exchange. A footnote in my Bible indicates that the value of the quint was equivalent to 1 day's wage, a significant loss to the household. Its loss meant the labor used to obtain it had been in vain. Now let's discuss the other aspects of these parables. The shepherd left his remaining sheep together, trusting that they would not get into trouble while he was away. He knew that if they stayed where he told them to, they would be safe. Herds and flocks have significant advantages over lone individuals. Their ability to band together as a living wall, the increased number of eyes to watch each other's backs, and other defensive capabilities made them far less vulnerable than the sheep that was alone in the wilderness. By organizing his flock and knowing that the animal's instincts would protect them, the shepherd could focus all his energy on searching for the missing sheep. Luke 15:4-7. Christ does not imply that heaven does not celebrate when we are obedient. There would have been a great state of distress over the vulnerability of the lone sheep, since it did not have the protection of the flock and the shepherd. The celebration described is due to the relief that this valuable animal is no longer in danger. The shepherd now knew the whereabouts of all his beloved animals and would feel relieved, no longer having to worry or imagine the worst-case scenarios that could have unfolded. Luke 15:4-7. The woman had several advantages over the shepherd in her search. Luke 15:8-10 indicates that she never left her house. She knew that the coin was inside her walls, but not where it was hiding. Anyone who has ever dropped a small metal object knows that they have a fantastic ability to bounce further than you would expect. I once lost the back of an earring in the foyer of a restaurant when I was a child, and we found it in one of the side rooms. It had bounced over 10 feet away. Unlike the shepherd, who can only look for and call to his lost sheep, she is forced to search for her coin using different methods. After doing a visual check, she used a broom to get under furniture and into small crevices. Using the broom helps her accomplish her goal, and she is just as ecstatic, celebrating the retrieval of the coin. Lessons and applications. Lesson 1. All people are valuable to Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. We are the children of God and are more valuable to Him than we can imagine. Long after this parable was given, Jesus showed us our value by sacrificing Himself for us. When we look at others through that lens, we will not discount them. Instead, we will want to help them recognize and achieve their full potential. Lesson 2. Be diligent in your stewardship so that you can act quickly. Both the shepherd and the woman acted quickly as soon as they realized their beloved item was missing. For the shepherd, this reduced the amount of ground he had to cover, allowing him to find the sheep more quickly. In the woman's case, she would have fewer steps to retrace and could eliminate parts of her home that did not need to be searched. Whether we are looking after an actual item or watching out for our fellow human beings, keen observation allows us to act quickly so that we can find them sooner, reduce their stress over being lost, and arrive at the celebration more quickly. Lesson 3. Have hope that you will find what you are looking for. Neither the shepherd nor the woman doubted their ability to find what they were looking for. They possessed the necessary skills and tools to complete their task successfully. If we constantly check in with our Heavenly Father and maintain a strong faith, we can have the confidence that when one of our brothers or sisters is in trouble, we will be able to offer them help. We also have one advantage that was not available to the people featured in these parables: the ability to ask for additional help from those around us, both seen and unseen.